My name is Wesley Robinson. I go by the name of Wallstreet West, and I'm 31 years old. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I grew up in between Warrensville and right here on Kinsman, 144th. I was the only boy of 4 sisters, and I had a mother. My father was around, and I lived back and forth with my father, but primarily I stayed with my mother. And I can remember at a young age, we had moved out to Warrensville. And, you know, even though we were living in Warrensville, as a family, we weren't financially in the same position everybody in Warrensville was. So I acquired friends in Warrensville, and they would be spoiled. They would have everything. They wouldn't want for nothing. And, you know, I would go home and we would have the bare necessities. So within having the bare necessities, it just made me wonder, like, you know, why does they have everything and at our house, you know, we really didn't have the things that they had. We in this nice neighborhood, why don't we have what they have? And I remember just wanting toys. And it started out with me just stealing toys from my friends. I felt like they wouldn't miss it. They had so much. And I would just like steal little small things like toys from my friends. Or I remember one time I got on detention, and when I was on detention I had stole a pair of tennis shoes. I had been wearing the same shoes for some years. And I remember my mother looking at me with concern, like, you know, Wes, where'd you getting this stuff from? And I would always say, like, somebody gave it to me. And she was like, man, everybody is not giving you stuff. But in all actuality, I was stealing it just to have. You know, bare stuff, like, I didn't consider it bad or even something wrong. I just felt like, you know, I don't have it. These kids have everything, so, you know, they won't miss it. And I can remember I had my first home invasion at 9 years old. You know, I went over a friend's house to play, and they wasn't home. They had left their door wide open because it's the suburbs. They're not thinking anything bad was gonna happen. And because of that, I went to knock on the door, and the door went open. I went inside, and I just did what I saw in the movies. You know, I ransacked the whole house. I flipped over beds and pulled out dressers, and I ended up coming up on like $25. And I bought candy. While I was in the house, I ate, and I did all type of things and drank. And I remember going home and coming back later on that day after I took a nap, and the friend was like, I saw the friend, and she was like, my house got robbed. And I'm like, man, I heard about it. She's like, well, how you hear about it? And I didn't tell nobody. And I'm like, I ain't. So I'm like, I lied. Like, well, I'm the one who, I saw whoever robbed your house. But in all actuality, it was really me. And like I said, I really started out young, just stealing, not really thinking there was nothing wrong with it. But as I got older and I became a teenager, you know, it became like a necessity for me, for real, to where I would even be in fear when I stole, but my fear of desperation overrode the fear, because I felt like I needed clothes, I needed food, I needed money. So I had built a habit of stealing. And eventually stealing turned into drug dealing. And when I was about, I would say 19 years old, I got a call from some of my cousins. They had lived in Toledo, Ohio, and they was letting me know, like, you know, we got a lot of things going on as far as drugs up here, man, you should come on up here. And I was like, you know, I'm doing pretty good up in Cleveland, so they urged me, like, come on up here, we got a lot of good things going on. So I went, and it was very lucrative, as they said it was. And my primary drug that I sold was marijuana, but being with them, I sold crack cocaine. And eventually I got back to selling marijuana, and the guys that I was buying marijuana from, I was overpaying them. And that was my thing I used to do. Like, if I bought marijuana from you, I would overpay you in case I got robbed, in case I lost some money in the streets. I feel like I always had money put up with you. And I remember my rent being due, and me and my cousin was just kind of going through some things that I caught my case with. And I felt like the guy that I was buying drugs from played me for some cash because I needed some drugs, but I didn't have no money. And he wouldn't give them to me. So my mom thinking like, man, I spent all this money with you, and you can't even front me when I need you. So I felt violated, and I felt like that he had, you know, played me out of some money. So my cousin was an infamous stick-up kid. And what's so ironic was that I was always the type of guy where I never promoted robbery. Like, when I see guys in the hood robbing, I would like talk down on it, or I would tell guys that they was messing it up in the neighborhood. So my cousin was like, you know, if they play you for some cash, we might as well rob them. So he's like, no, you ain't gonna do that. But I had just bought this brand new shotgun, and I was sitting there playing with the shotgun. I remember thinking to myself, like, you know, I just wanted to do it out of spite. So that same night, me and my cousin went to go rob the guy, and I really was just doing it out of spite. And I was just that type of guy to where once I'm upset, then I'm kind of extreme on my feelings in that moment. So I was robbing their stores like every day. And what ended up changing my life was one time I robbed one of the stores, and I had robbed the store for $25,000. And you know, being that young and having $25,000 to myself, is just kind of like, it just turned me out to where now I got obsessed with being able to get that type of money in such a short period of time. And it became addicting to me, to where I got addicted to robbing. I got addicted to seeing that type of money in such a short fashion. And you know, me and my cousin, we robbed for 7 days a week for 2 months straight. Just nonstop every day. We were still hustling, we were still selling drugs, but we robbed every single day. You know, and looking back on it, I just thank God, you know, because I've seen a lot of people who try to rob for the first time and get killed. You know, we was robbing every single day, man. We wasn't letting up at all, period. And somehow we survived. We was in shootouts and all type of things, man. I can remember coming through the front door of a store with a gun. As soon as I come through the door, the store owner, he's shooting at us. As soon as we come through the door, and he's shooting directly at us. And I can remember at one point in time, when I came through the door and he was shooting, I started going backwards and my cousin was going forward. So we was jammed in the door, and dude shooting dead at us, and he never killed us somehow, some way. I say through the grace of God. And just with that lifestyle, our lives was put on the line so many different times, yet, you know, our lives was never taken. And one night in particular, my girlfriend at the time kept on saying she had a bad feeling, And she had sent my cousin over there, like, you know, you need to go get Lil West, man, I got a bad feeling. So my cousin came over to my house, and he was trying his hardest to talk me out of doing what I was about to do. And in my mind, I just knew that I was going to prison that night. But my body felt possessed to where my mind said, like, man, Wes, you going to prison tonight. But my body felt possessed to where I couldn't stop moving. And it was like, I couldn't control myself. Even to the point where my cousin's 2 daughters were sitting in his back seat, and they were 5 and 3 at the time. I actually went to his truck and gave him a hug and thought to myself, it's going to be a long time before I see them again. And I remember just hugging them tightly. And my cousin was like, all right, man, I want to see you later on. So I'm like, I'm going to go hit this lick, and I'm going to come over to your house once I'm finished. And once I hit the lick, I went in the store and I shot up in the air a few times just to let my presence known. And after I did that, it was an off-duty police officer on his way to work. And once he heard the gunshots, he automatically started calling for backup. And once he called for backup, once I finished robbing the store, I was being followed as soon as I came out the store. And me and my cousin thought that we had shot the guy that was following us. And as soon as we turned onto a main street, our car was surrounded by police. And from that moment, you know, we went to the county jail in Toledo, Ohio. You know, and I didn't trip. I didn't even blink an eye. Me being that young, I didn't even take it seriously. Like, you know, the lifestyle we was living, I felt like it was a part of the game. Like going to prison, I just had my mindset that I was gonna stay solid. I wasn't gonna tell on nobody, and I was just gonna do this time and come home and probably even be a bigger drug dealer than I was before I went to prison because of how solid I kept it. Not knowing how much time I really had in store. And when I was in the county, I had a lawyer who like tried to show up like right before my sentencing and get me to just try to walk into a deal. And at the time they were trying to give us 26 years in prison. And my mindset was like, no, I ain't about to do no 26 years, man. I understand we did wrong and we kind of reckless, but I don't believe that we deserve 26 years in prison. And for the first time I actually seen God work in my life where I was paying attention to it. And I prayed and And I was like, man, we don't deserve all this. And my last court hearing, they was just trying to like railroad us. And I told the judge, like, you know, me and my lawyer never even come to talk to me. He don't care whether I did it, whether I didn't do it. This man have never came and sat down with me, even heard the story, and none of those things. So it's just like, how can I even trust him for real? And I try to fire him and everything. So they postponed my court date and told me to go talk to my lawyer and come back. And I had a long talk with my lawyer, and I let him know, like, you know, me and my cousin are wrong. We need to go get some education. We need to sit down and think about what we did. We don't deserve 26 years in prison. And I poured my heart out to this man. I remember like it was yesterday. I poured my heart out to this man, and I watched God work. Because normally when I'm in court, he would be in court reading the funny pages, like laughing off the funny pages as well. But after I had this talk with him, this man was in court with law books, like in his lap, like just reading law books, trying to figure out some loopholes to help us. And it was just amazing how God was working in my life at that moment. And like I said, the judge was trying to give us 26 years. She was trying to lay us down by being Toledo. It's a small town, so they trying to make a point on crime. And I remember the prosecutor standing up on me and giving the judge a 10-year cap, saying that you can't get these boys nothing over 10 years. So what the judge did, she gave us a mandatory 10 years. She said, well, y'all gonna do every bit of that 10 years. But I can't give y'all no more than 10 years, y'all gonna do 10 years. And I remember being in the courtroom and all my sisters was there and they cried. And I was more concerned about them than I was myself, and I just gave them a thumbs up. You know, they're like, man, you got 10 years, why aren't you upset or why aren't you crying? And I'm like, you know, as a man, I gotta live and die by my decisions. If I do wrong, I gotta accept everything that comes with it. And I'm in these streets, I gotta accept everything that comes with being in the streets. And I'm at peace with whatever consequences that's before me, because I gotta live and die by my decisions. When I do right, you get rewards. So you gotta accept the rewards. And just like when you're doing wrong, you gotta accept those consequences. So, like I said, we went on to do 10 years. I did my first 2 years in Cincinnati, my next 4 years in Toledo prison, then my last 4 years in Richland, in Mansfield, Ohio. In my first few years, I was still young, I was still acrimonious, and